I know. For those of you who are out there now watching live and in living color right here on twitch.tv/athomewithjames, I'm taking responsibility. I'm being accountable when I say that after 4 straight episodes of pristine, on-time starting, I have fallen, as they say, off of the wagon. I am James, you are you, we are here for the week-ending episode of what? Of At Home with James, live on Twitch, currently 9:04 p.m. after a 9:03 p.m. start time. I was doing so good. I was doing incredibly well for the past full week, for the most part. And in a variety of situations, I would, of course, take some responsibility when it's necessary to. Now, at times we have technical difficulties. I would never blame our technical directors for that because things happen that are out of their control sometimes. Now, I could do that. I won't because it's not up to the text tonight. Sometimes it's because of the guests showing up and entering the queue just a little bit late. That is not the reason why we've begun at 9:03 tonight. The main reason this show started late is because I was entrenched in a deep discussion, not about world events, not about anything that has any type of sociological consequence or repercussion. Before this show began, I was in a discussion about the Eagles. That's right. If you were sitting there, whether it's on your couch, in a chair, in the tub, in a car, regardless of where you might be watching from tonight, you were looking at the time tick by 9 o'clock, 9:01, 9:02, 9:03, and you're thinking to yourself, James has been really good at starting on time lately. What the heck is happening? Must be some type of snafu. Internet connection, maybe? Guests that aren't here? No. The reason is the Eagles. Don Felder, Glenn Fry, you name them. Henley, the list can go on and on. The show is starting late because I was talking about the Eagles. So if you're going to blame anyone, you can blame me, or you can send any type of complaint towards the current living and remaining members of the Eagles. If you are tuned in, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Got a real one on tap tonight. We got a real one on tap tonight. Now you're asking, what does the real one mean? Well, tonight, Jason Grimmer joins us. He's going to be talking about what to do and what not to do in summer 2021. We've had snow. The weather is warming up. And this is the type of guy that you want giving you the do's and don'ts of the summer. You might be saying, why are you starting summer so early? Why not? That's the question that I respond to your question with. Now, Nikki Fournier was also supposed to be here. She has fallen ill. Not with anything serious, but as they do in a lot of Twitter posts and things of that nature, we're going to keep Nikki in our thoughts and prayers. I implore you, to the fan base, to the viewers, to the audience, to the friends of At Home, I want you to reach out to Nikki. I want you to send her your thoughts and best wishes and prayers. But before we really get into it, we have to address something that happened 1 week ago tonight. It was arguably the most boring segment in At Home history. And it didn't come from a fair weather guest, someone who's here periodically. It came from one of our own, someone that I have given full reign to. There's only a few people who I collaborate with on this dang thing that have my full-blown, unadulterated trust. It's Dimitri Kyres. He has been on an absolute roll. He's been on a tear Week after week, he brings a defunk. Last week, well, he had his turn of falling off the wagon when he took me through a 22, upwards of 25-minute personality test that went truly nowhere. No result, no breakdown, no punchline, no blow off, no pop. Absolutely nothing. If this was a piñata, you imagine yourself beating up on a piñata for 25 minutes and it opens and there's nothing there. Maybe there's a note and there's nothing written on a note. It's just a drawing of a middle finger. That's what Dimitri's personality test segment was. He assures me that he's got something good on tap tonight. But before we do that, because he's still preparing, so I have my fingers crossed. Let's quickly check in with Dimitri. Dimitri.
How's it going, James?
I'm doing very well. You listening to some rock and roll over there?
Yeah, wait, hold on. You said I bring the funk, so I decided to just, walk in with a little something extra, a little spice.
All right.
To my,
Now you're trying to butter me up, aren't you?
Well, James, I won't lie to you. I'm disappointed with last week, and that intro absolutely.
Well, that makes all of us.
Me. James, look, I know. I shat the bed. I laid the egg.
You shat the bed. The sheets are stained forever. You laid the egg. You open up the egg. You just got a dead chicken in there.
Well, listen, I know what I did wrong. I'm sorry. Okay, look, you've been saying, I've been coming in, day out, every week. Friday, I'm coming in with a banger and coming up with something hot and steamy. I'm in the lab cooking up fucking things every week for this beautiful show that I love so much. And, look, I overcooked something last week, James. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when you say hot and steamy, you couldn't be any more on point with that. Dimitri, can I ask you a question? What happened last week? What happened with your personality test? How did you miss the mark so much?
Is this music still doing it for you, by the way?
It's doing it for me.
Okay, I'll keep it on. Okay, well, I'll be honest, James, and I hate to use excuses because everybody's got a million of them, and at the end of the day, you got to take responsibility for the thing you just laid. So I'll be honest with you, I thought that I was going to have a career at the end of that test, James.
Right.
My critical flaw, my Achilles heel, if you will, is I didn't take the test. I didn't test it before the show.
Now, of course, this was a find your career test that began with a personality test portion. Now, this thing went on and on and on with no result. Can I ask you, what did you learn from last week's blooper, blunder, and boner?
Trading Finance, thanks for following. What did I think was gonna happen?
Yeah. Well, what have you learned?
Oh, what have I learned? Sorry, I'm not listening. What have I learned?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I learned that I should definitely, test the damn quiz, but I also know that James McGee demands something fine. He's a man of taste. For God's sakes, we've been doing the show for how long, James?
Well, it's been over a year now. It's been over a year.
We've done it. You need something fine. Fine cuisine. You're not going to settle with a dusty old flapjack anymore. You need a fried chicken sandwich with a creamy coleslaw.
Okay. Now you're talking my language. You have tickled my curiosity. So are you telling me that tonight you are going to give me the at-home equivalent of a fried chicken sandwich? And how did you word it? A creamy what?
A creamy coleslaw, James.
Yes. You're ensuring excellence tonight.
I am not even assuring excellence. I am willing to put my pink slip on the line. Do you understand what that means?
Well, it sounds like what you're saying is you're going to self-fire if things don't work out tonight.
If my segment at the end of today isn't good by your standards, I will never appear on this show again.
Never, ever again will you appear on this show if your chicken sandwich equivalent segment does not meet the standards of what people have been acclimated to know and appreciate about this program. That's what you're saying.
With a creamy coleslaw, James.
So this is quite a promise. Have you thought this one through?
Absolutely not, James. That's how sure I am.
Right. You haven't thought this through. So I went from being confident about your segment to not so confident, just based on the fact that you haven't even thought your stakes out.
I haven't even considered failing, because it's like it's like something in all the universes, in all the parallel universes, is not a thing. In every single outcome, I succeed.
All right, so before we let you get back to work, on a scale of 1 to 10 Jameses, 10 being the most confident, 1 being the least, how confident are you about this segment? How many Jameses on a scale of confidence are you?
If I said 12 out of 10, James, do you think I could go higher? Because I could. 15 out of 10 Jameses.
15 out of 10, you've got my heart pounding here.
James, I'm going to have more than just your heart pounding.
Well, I can't tell if that's a sexual innuendo or not, but let's just keep it to the heart. How about that?
Whatever.
What are you trying to say when you're saying you're going to have more than my heart pounding?
Say you might get horny, brother.
You're saying that your segment is so good that my heart is going to pound and I might reach a place of arousal?
You ever eat a really good hot chicken sandwich with your hands and it's covered in gravy and you get so horny that it's because it's so good?
You're eating hot chicken sandwiches with your hands?
You don't do
covered
that?
in gravy.
Yeah, you pick it up right out of the oven and you shove it. You just take a big bite of that hot chicken sandwich, and it gets you excited.
I hate to tell you, I think you might be eating your hot chicken sandwiches incorrectly.
James, after this segment, you're gonna be doing it just like me.
Well, let's hope not. Dimitri, I'm gonna let you get back to work, and we're gonna check in segment 3 to see how this new experiment goes. I'm excited. You've got me intrigued.
James, I'm excited too, brother. Hope you have a great rest of the show, and wear a bib.
I will absolutely not do that. Dimitri, I'll check in with you later on.
Adios.
That's Dimitri Kyres. He promises a segment so good that if it doesn't deliver, he's going to quit the show. Now, speaking person to person, you to me, I don't really want this guy to quit, because I need someone to tech this show. This guy, segment doesn't go well. He quits on Fridays. Who am I going to get? I can't do it. I'm hosting this thing. Andy, he's the Monday guy. Dave, I don't even know when that guy's coming back. If anything, I might need Dimitri 2 days a week. Last thing I need is this guy quitting. But that's later on. Let's talk about the present. Let's live in the moment. We are going to welcome our first guest tonight. He is a man who truly encapsulates the identity of summer. When you think of the humidity of summer, the first person you think of is this man. When you think of sunburns, the first person you think of is this man. When you think about wearing pants on a day when you shouldn't, you think of this man. Let's welcome our first guest. He's here to tell us about the do's and don'ts of summer 2021. It is the one and only Jason Grimmer. Jason, welcome back to the show.
Oh, man. Let's go surfing now. Everyone's learning how. Come on and surf safari with me. We are looking forward to this summer. We've had a long, hard time inside. We are getting vaxxed, we're getting waxed, and summer's coming up and we got plans, right, James?
Well, Jason, that's why you're here. I actually don't have any plans. Everything is wide open for me. I've never been much of a summer guy, and that's why I'm looking to you, a true expert.
Man, I'm here to change it. I'm here to change it. First thing up, we're going to talk about inner tubing. It's a way of being on the water, but not in a boat. It's the best thing.
It's the best thing? Is everything okay over there?
I'm excited for summer, man. I'm excited for summer. And
you're talking about inner tubing.
Yeah, I mean, I made a whole list, and I don't know, man. Like,
is everything okay over there?
Not really. Not
you
really,
must be
man.
It feels like the summer's already getting you. You're getting hot. You're taking your clothes off.
No, it fucking snowed yesterday. James,
Yeah,
are we friends?
that's true. And I thought because it snowed and today was a bit nicer, you might be able to help open people's eyes to the reality that summer's on the horizon. Now you're
Yeah.
this is the
I
first
know
time
that's why
anyone's
I was
ever
brought here,
yeah.
buddy. And I call you buddy, and I don't use it loosely. I think we are buddies. I think we share something outside this show, this
Yeah.
fabricated sort of friendship that happens here. And I just want to say, like,
Well, you just say a fabricated friendship?
well, on the show, it's not real. We're kind of like, let's get real for a second. Like, okay, I'll get to the point because I don't think I'm making any sense. A couple of days ago, it was 420.
Yeah, that's right. On
And
Tuesday
the
it was
show-
420.
Right. I mean, forgive me for not remembering the exact day. I'm getting to that.
I was not trying to imply that you didn't know the day. I was clarifying for people who might not know.
See this, James? It's a Beach Boys album.
Sure.
I put it on the wall for my segment.
Yep.
It's worth $600, and I just tossed it over there.
Yeah.
You
Now
did a 420 show,
yeah.
which is about what? Drugs? What's it about?
Yeah. So again, Tuesday was 420. We did what was supposed to be sober fun on 421, and it turned into a total drug episode. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And who was on the show?
On Wednesday's show, well, we had Andy Saff was there, Raquel Belmonte, Gabe Rondos, and it was more drug content than I wanted sober fun.
Well, the first mistake you made was not recognizing what 420 is, because you just named 3 major fucking cokeheads. Okay, 420 is about pot.
Right.
420 is about pot. And I don't think it's weird that you know me and you know my checkered history, and you know that throughout my life I've used drugs to A, prop me up, and B, calm me down.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so I think it's a little weird that you wouldn't look me up on the Rolodex on a 420 episode when I could probably use the exposure and also the closure.
Okay, so again, if what I'm hearing correctly is you are offended that you were not invited onto what turned into a 420 episode. If we're talking about being real, it sounds like your feelings are hurt.
Let me answer that question with a question.
Okay.
Who do you know has taken as many drugs as I have and lived?
Well, yes, I guess you.
So why on earth would you be like 420? It's not called Grimmer.
Right. Yeah. So again, what
did I do it for?
It was supposed to be, the show was sober fun on 421, and I made the mistake of bringing, and this is my fault, people that were not known for their ways in the worlds of sobriety. So in that case, you're right. I should have retrospectively brought you onto that show. You're right.
You broke a cardinal rule, and it's a rule that was created for weddings and funerals. Never invite 3 cokeheads to anything.
All right.
Okay.
Well, this kind of a bit of a strong claim, but okay.
I mean, you've seen their performances.
Well, that's neither here nor there. I have a question for you coming in from the chat. This courtesy of Naive Adventures. Grimmer, are you sober now?
You would need context to decide something like that, something I gave up years ago.
You've given up context?
Yeah, because everyone's like, are you wasted? And I'm like, it really depends. There's a lot of questions you have to tick off to get to that point.
Fair.
The short answer is yes.
So this is what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to, again, apologize. I'm willing to apologize. Jason, I'm sorry that I did not bring you onto the 421 episode, and having not known that it would turn into a weed episode, I should have foreseen that it would go from sober to non-sober. And in that case, I should have prepared in a more adequate way by bringing you on.
Thank you.
Now, how about we get back into the fun of summer?
I'd like to get into the fun of summer, but let's talk about a summer back in 1988. Okay?
Oh, okay. So I like this. A bit of a revisiting summers. That's great.
Exactly. And there's a 2-pronged plan for this, James.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, it's to maybe find some closure for myself, because I find that that's probably what I most seek in my life, but also to take you back to what it's like to experiment and learn about drugs in your teenage years, something you did not get to experience, and then you asked Andy, of all people,
Right.
who has, if he was a teenager, you would never know by looking at him ever. He was
Right.
never, you know what I mean? He looks like, to me, Andy is someone you'd go, hey, he runs the local store since he was 12. So
Right.
it seems to me like why you would ask someone like that doesn't make sense. So let me just take you through it.
Okay, so
You're gonna-
if I'm understanding correctly, you're not letting this drug thing go. We're going to talk about drugs.
It's a summertime. Is that okay?
Yes, that's totally fair. Okay, let's do it.
It's
Okay.
like the season's a real point for you, and so we'll make it's summer.
All right, so let's have you contribute.
Okay. So James, I don't want to ask you to close your eyes because it's your show and you probably don't feel safe doing that. But I want you to sort of pretend you've closed your eyes. And I
Okay.
want you to sort of pretend you're in the environment that I am creating for you to give you the
Okay.
feeling that you are lacking, which is teenage drug abuse.
Okay, so not drug use, but strictly drug abuse.
That is, people always make a distinction between that, and
Yeah.
I've never understood the difference.
Okay, well, all right. So let's do this.
Okay. It's 4 p.m. You and your friend Jody have walked home from school. It's Friday. You want something exciting to happen. You've had a whole day of being taunted, of being threatened, of failing tests, of not showing up for your job at the Canadian Tire. You just want a night to relax. So you and your friend Jody head to your home.
Didn't you work at the Canadian Tire as a teen?
Yes, I did.
All right, so okay, let's continue.
It's Friday night. You want to do something fun. You know there's parties, but there's one thing you're lacking. Invites. You can't go to these parties. You weren't invited. But your friend Jody has a cousin who might have some access to some drugs.
Right. Now,
You and Jody decide, well, we're going to make this a great night. You go ahead. You can interject anytime.
didn't you have a friend named Jody?
I did
All right,
have
okay.
a friend named Jody.
Okay.
That's a different story. So you're at home and your mom comes home. You know, your mom comes in the door. She says, hey, hun, I'm going out tonight. Who with, Mom? I don't know. Some other guy I met today. What about the guy yesterday, Mom? Oh, he might be around again. You'll see him soon. I'm sure he'll be around. But tonight I'm going to be meeting up with someone else at the Neon Ashtray, which is a bar down the street. You know you've got the place to yourself. Jody looks at me, I look at him, we lock eyes. Let's get screwed. Let's get wasted. Let's blow our heads into 1999. Remember, this is 1987, 88.
Right. And
Jody
just
says,
to confirm, you said let's get screwed.
Let's get screwed. But Jody knew what I was talking about. It wasn't like he wasn't. There was no. We never really wanted to go to the local brothel that was
Right.
readily available, but had too many people we knew from the town in it working there. So we basically called his cousin, and we took Jody's four-wheeler up to the house and drove around back, as you have to do when you're going to this place. And we bought some seeds and stems. A thick bag of seeds and stems. The green hues go from light to dark. There's hints of yellow. There's a smell of vanilla. You're imagining that because there's no vanilla in that sort of thing, but you imagine what you love is the smell. And we buy it. It costs us $45 in 1987.
Now,
Go
what's the
back-
what's the conversion rate in 1999?
It would be $138 now.
All right, we won't ask what the current conversion rate is.
I know you're laughing at me. You're thinking, oh, he should be some sort of, economical whiz back then, but I'm not.
I
like
assure
the-
you, I was not thinking that.
I just got kicked in the balls by my shop teacher earlier in that day. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, so can I ask you a question? This started as a hypothetical about me, but you've quickly veered off. This sounds like this happened to you.
No, I'm just a master storyteller.
Right.
And
But
this
you
is
keep
me.
but you keep saying me and Jody. It began with you and Jody. Now you're saying me and Joe. You're recounting this like it happened.
You and Jody are heading back to
Right.
your place. Okay? Your mom's out on her date. She's down at the neon ashtray. She's having the time of her life. You know you're not going to get any sleep tonight unless you get so stoned that you can fall asleep because you're going to hear the pounding upstairs. Yet again. The curse of the latchkey kid, right? You pull open the bag of weed, the pot, the muchos gracias, and you get your papers, first time ever, and you lick the sticky. You pour the ground pot onto the paper.
Is that the length of the joint? You're going real far over here.
It's a lot. It was a lot. We used 2. So we roll it up. Okay, who wants to go first? Jody'd smoked pot before, but I had not. It's good to have a lot. This is what I'm trying to say. It's a good. Sorry, I mean you. You need to have a lifeline when you're getting high. Someone to reach out to. I don't care if you call him the Lizard King. It doesn't matter. But someone to reach out to when you're high. We put on some tunes. Do you know what we put on?
Tell me.
Side 2, Led Zeppelin 2.
Okay.
Bah, bah, bah! And it's just blasting. You know what I'm saying?
Can you give me that note one more time?
Ba-da-ba! And then you look out the window, and your stepbrother, red Chevy Nova, is just glistening in the sunset. And you go, everything's all right.
Wait, all of this has happened before the sun has gone down?
Yeah, man. It was. I
all
told
right.
you what time it was, right? It was 4, and it's summer, so it's not going to be dark until like 8:30.
Yeah, quarter to.
The marathons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you start smoking the joint.
Yeah. Can you show us how you would smoke it?
Sure. Suck it back in. With every exhale.
Yeah.
You see a change.
Yeah. Now take
you
us
start thinking about your life.
Yeah. So what would these thoughts be?
What does the inside of the neon ashtray look like? And is it a suitable place for my mom to hang out?
Okay, so I'm reflecting on my mother being on this date.
None of this. Yeah, I'm a storyteller. Check me out at the Fringe. I'm getting you into it. It's not really what happened to me.
Okay, this is a hypothetical.
So you smoke this joint, and you pass it to your friend, and they take the joint. And they take their hit. You listen to Led Zeppelin 2, and the second track has started.
Wait, is somebody else smoking with you right now?
And you're just
where's this smoke coming from?
The boat has set sail. You know what I'm saying? And you go, and you're like, I gotta cling to my friend for dear life. You don't. You do. The music sort of takes you into that. The next thing you know, you're like, do you have any Little Feat cassettes? Of course he does. Pulls out a Little Feat cassette. Tracks Snakes on Everything plays. Now, Little Feat is a Frank Zappa offshoot band.
Right. Now, just as a side, are you able to do a Frank Zappa impersonation?
Yeah. Don't need the yellow snow. You're taking a ride on this song. Any song that's playing your way.
Yeah.
And you are just taking a ride. You and Jody are having the time of your life. You know every moment you're making is a moment you're going to be thinking about and talking about the next day in math class.
Yeah.
Monday. You know you're going to be talking about the boss at Canadian Tire. You're letting it loose. You're going, I have no boundaries. I can do anything I want to do. You're 15. You've got the whole world ahead of you. You have choices to make. You chose drugs.
Okay, well, this sounds like it might take me down a potentially dangerous path, right? Because they say marijuana is a gateway drug.
And here's where I have to say, it is.
Okay.
But not the way people think. Because what it really is that basically, if you know a guy who sells pot, it's really easy to find someone through him that sells like crack or like cocaine or.
All
like
right.
ecstasy.
Yeah.
He's got this sort of, he's working in that business, so it's easier to do. So that's really how that works. So it definitely is a gateway drug. Yeah.
All right. So you're sitting around, you're thinking about life, you're thinking about your job. Led Zeppelin is playing.
Led Zeppelin's playing. You're looking at your Pink Floyd poster.
Right.
Or like something kind of psychedelic like that. Look at that, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it's really groovy, man.
It's like an eye.
Yeah, far out.
Triangle. Oh, Jesus. Look at the back of it, James. Look at
You
that.
got a pyramid on there.
Look at that.
You want to continue on with this hypothetical?
Yeah, where was I?
Yeah. You're thinking about life. You're thinking about your employer at Canadian Tire. Probably about 5 o'clock.
That guy was such a loser. I remember he bought the Simpsons CD, and it was the only CD he owned to play in his truck. What a
Jason,
guy.
this is all a story about you, right?
No, man.
Right?
Just like a
It's fine.
hypothetical.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just the attention to detail in this story, and the fact that you've mentioned a variety of things that I know happened to you. This is about you, right? You worked at Canadian Tire. I know that your parents divorced, and you had a friend named Jody, and you had a stepbrother. I know all of these things. This is your story.
I mean, it's kind of all our stories, isn't it?
Well, it's not my story. Can I ask you a question? Did you go to the neon ashtray that night?
I've gone to it. I went to it that night, and I've went to it since then. It was a great place. I saw why my mom liked it, and it was fun.
Right. Now, the night that you're talking about, was your mom there the night did you go with Jody that night?
We went down to the neon ashtray, yeah. We were high as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had, like, when you went through the back door into the sort of the staff area to get in, because we knew this sort of sneaking way, it was the lights. It felt so crazy as a 15-year-old to just, like, see the lights and hear this music. It was New Country. I can't remember the song.
Okay.
Just pounding and people dancing on the dance floor, and it just blew my mind.
Well, and was your mother there?
Oh yeah, Mom. Yeah, I saw her. I didn't.
Okay,
talk to her.
well, was she with another guy?
Yeah.
Well, that must have been difficult. I'm sure, knowing that your mom was at the same bar as you, dancing with some guy, right? That must have been difficult.
It was what it was, man. I mean, I remember a couple hours before being so stressed out about it, and then all of a sudden I was like, "What do I know?"
Yeah. Well, did you ever meet the guy that she was with?
I did later on. It was my gym teacher.
Your mom was on a date at the neon ashtray with your gym teacher? What was his name?
Mr. Walker.
Mr. Walker?
Yeah.
Well, are they still together?
No. I mean, for the purpose of, in the story they were, but no.
Right. Okay. Well, Jason, I guess I got to say thanks for taking me on that journey.
Yeah, man. I just want to give you a really good sense of what it was like to sort of like that sort of experience of like being a teenager and experimenting and having fun and trying anything and feeling like alive. And getting high and having a really good time. I hope I was able to kind of express that.
Yeah, it was very illuminating. I have one last question. Are you with Jody right now? Because we saw a hand come into frame handing you a joint.
No, Jody. No, it wasn't Jody. Jody hasn't been around a long time.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, Jason,
Right.
look, thanks. Again, I'm sorry that things didn't work out on the sober episode, but now we know what will be in store for next year when we do a truly proper 420 episode. We might take another hypothetical journey.
Great. I'm glad it was fun.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for summer, dude. It's
Yeah.
gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing.
Any quick tips for what people can enjoy before we let you go?
Yeah, go inner tubing. Inner tubing is my hot tip for summer 2021.
Inner tubing it is. All right. Well, Jason, look, thanks so much, and all the best.
All right. Take care.
That was Jason Grimmer on tips for the most optimal ways to enjoy summer 2021. You heard it. Intertubing. Before we move on, just a reminder, not that you needed one, but we will be back when? This coming Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Twitch. Tell your mom, dad, auntie, uncle, brother, sister, Grammy, Grampy, tell your best friend, or even, now this might sound crazy, your worst enemy to tune in. Who's going to be here? Dave Kaufman is back in the saddle again. Now, I don't know if anyone out there felt tempted to indulge in one thing or another after that segment, but if you did, I'm not judging. You crack open a cold one, you go for it. You spark the magic dragon, you feel free. You take a sniff of some of that counter dust, you do what you like. Because right now is really the safest time to do it. You can't go outside. You're stuck in the confines and the comfort of your own home. You have yourself a little party because it is the weekend. Welcome to the weekend. We have been talking about this all night long. It's now time to put young Dimitri Kyres to the test. If this segment does not exceed expectations, he insists that he will quit. I don't want for that to happen, but he is insisting it. It's Dimitri Kyres once again. Dimitri. All right, I guess this is what's happening tonight.
Oh, hail and well met, stranger. Welcome to the blacksmith shop. Can I help you with something?
Oh, yes, I believe that I'm here to speak with Dimitri Kyres.
Who's that name yonder there? Speak up, boy. This ear has
Dimitri
tinnitus.
Kyres. Yes, Dimitri Kyres. He works on this show, and last week his segment really bombed hard. Went right into the crapper, as the kids say, and he insists.
Crapper?
Yes.
Crapper's over yonder way, the hole on the edge of town, sir.
I assure you, I'm not looking for the crapper. I'm looking for Dimitri Kyres, and I can't believe he's making me do this.
His last name one more time?
Yeah, Kyres. Kyres.
Closer, boy. I have tinnitus.
Kyres.
Kyres. I don't deal in missing persons, but if you need a horseshoe or some nails for your barn, well, you've come to the right place.
Well, I didn't intend for this night to take a turn where I was looking for some horseshoes or, what was that, nails for my barn?
Nails for your barn. Nothing gets your old lady all crazy like building a barn for her.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm currently without an old lady.
Well, a good guy like you shouldn't have too much trouble with that. James, it's me, Dimitri. I've been joking all along.
Yeah. I think the term joking is generous.
James, aren't you curious what's going on?
Well, yeah, I was worried that you were doing some high-quality online improv there.
High-quality online improv? Well, you bet your butt I was. James,
This is what you've got planned. You're dressed as a blacksmith.
Oh, it's so much more than that, James.
Would you like to expand?
Sure thing. So, James, I was wondering, I've been trying really hard to kind of figure you out. Summer's on the horizon, And James, this is going to be the summer of fun for you.
Yeah, you're doing that thing you did last week where you were doing that voice, right? That didn't work out so well.
What voice?
You know, the one where like, James, I've been thinking about you for a lot. You're a fun guy. You know, that thing you do.
Am I wrong? I'm doing this thing?
I would love a summer of fun. We know that intertubing is on the horizon.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And
so I'm prepared. I'm
dating?
prepared for a summer of fun.
James, and dating?
Well, it's probably still very dicey. It's not like this this crisis and this disease is going away. Are you suggesting that I start dating in the summer?
Well, James, it could be something. It could happen. But, well, I've been a little worried that you've been a little rusty, James. And I'm a little concerned about you. Well, I've developed a new, let's just call it application here. James, have you ever heard of ancestry.com?
Yes, of course. Where you backtrack in your family's heritage.
The very same. But James, Ancestry.com simply gives you where did my ancestors come from, roughly where geographically, but doesn't really give you an idea of who your ancestors were. And I say when I've got a problem, in life, I go back and I think about what would my ancestors do, James?
Okay, this is interesting. So is that what you're suggesting we do tonight? I'm going to go back in time to think about what my ancestors would have done to have a fun summer.
Do you hear that? I've initiated the device, James. I have swabbed the inside of your mouth, and we are going to go back in time, James.
Wait, when did my mouth get swabbed?
It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it, James. You're a very heavy sleeper, James.
All right.
James. We're gonna take a trip through time to a place where the ancient McGee clan roamed the earth, seizing war and claiming crowns. But more importantly, we're going to take a look at your ancestor and see, well, what were they like? What did they do?
Okay.
What did they look
So we're
like?
going to take a trip down through my family lineage.
That's absolutely right, James. We're going to take a look right now to your family image. I'm just initiating the device right now. Oh, jeez Louise. Can you hear all that?
I sure can.
Okay, great. So first and foremost, James, we're going to take a look. So I'll initiate the device right now, okay?
Sure.
So take a look to your screens. So we've got the geographical world here. This is obviously Ancestry.com.
Yep.
Thank you, Ancestry. So we're going to take a look. You are...
This is Ancestry.com?
Well, this is my version of Ancestry.com.
Right, okay.
So you said what are you again? You're not Norwegian? You're not French? What are you? You're some kind of UK, right?
Yeah, some members of my family came from Ireland.
Oh, beautiful. So we're going to zoom in here. So it should
You thought I was of Norwegian descent?
Well, you are fair of skin, my friend.
All right, well, Ireland it is.
Ireland it is. Beautiful. Welcome to beautiful Ireland. Do you have a roughly general idea of where in Ireland, or is that kind of a bit of a crapshoot?
Crapshoot.
Okay, well, I'm going to say Meath kind of speaks to me a little bit right now, or Ulster. Let's go with Ulster, James.
All right.
So we're going to go right here, and we're going to basically craft your ancestry here. So first name is obviously James.
Now, this is Ancestry, because this looks like a role-playing video game.
No, this is 100% an ancestry test, James. So we're going to actually be crafting your ancestor right here, James. So
yeah, well, it currently looks a little bit like Terry Fox with a pinch.
You think this looks like Terry Fox?
Yeah, I think it looks like Terry Fox with a pinch.
James, you were related to Terry Fox?
No, I'm saying this character looks like Terry Fox.
Well, I don't know anything about that, James, but that'll be changing in a moment's time because obviously I haven't imported your DNA yet. So as soon as I do that, it'll slowly be changing as you'll see, okay? So McGee, we got your family crest here, and I asked your mom about that. It's this one right here. It's the 3 crowns.
All right.
And here is that shield. I don't know what that says about you. So everything is good.
Well, that makes 2 of us.
Yeah, James was not female, was male, and we are going to go with heterosexual.
Yes.
Let's roll the dice. Let's do random. All right, James.
So this is gonna randomize my sexual preference.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know what it was going on back then. Your ancestors.
Okay, fair enough.
So we're just gonna reduce the weight here. We're gonna try to basically get this to look as much like you as possible. So that seems about right. So we're gonna go to appearance here.
That seems about right.
That seems about right for now, James. So we're gonna keep going here.
Yeah, I look now. I look like
the...
Terry Fox, but at the end.
Yeah. So I'm just pasting the DNA as we spit. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going here. Great. So we're gonna add the. Where are we? You're not Slavic. West Central European. Yeah, let's do that. Sounds good. Okay. So here we go, James.
Okay.
This is roughly what your ancestor looked like.
All right. So this is horrifying. This image of my ancestor.
This is what your ancestor looked like. Aren't you? You're coming face to face with history.
A bit more Scottish, but in the interest of keeping things moving, I agree.
Okay, well, we can customize further here, James, if you'd like. So we can make you a little taller.
You know, it's starting to bother me how much this looks like me.
Yeah, so this was about... How tall are you?
I'm about 5'10".
5'10"? Okay,
Yes.
so roughly about here.
All right.
Let's put you right here,
Yep.
actually. Beautiful. Okay, great. So we're going to finish that.
I don't even have a neck anymore.
Are you happy with this?
Yeah, I mean, happy is generous, but let's go with yes.
Well, I'm not. So we're gonna just basically change up just a few things here. So sunken eyes. I just want to get this to look as much like you as possible.
Yeah, naturally, of course.
I just want this to look as much like you as possible. So can you look directly into the camera so my face recognition software can make sure we're getting
I'd be
everything
happy
here?
to.
Thank you, James. Please come a little closer. Because it's right now, it's shuffling through the beards right now, and I want to make sure that it's getting the right one. Okay, great. Thank you, James. That's perfect. Thank you. That's fantastic, James.
Yeah, and this is the technology doing it. It's not the cursor on the screen.
No, this is the technology. The cursor has nothing to do with that. It's actually just all facial recognition software, James.
Okay, well, how complex and advanced?
Oh, thank you. Well, we've come a long way. So this is good. I like this. So this is coming together really nice, James.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So basically, we're just going to finish up here with some of this. Just basically, we're just fine tuning at this point. Like, we already know this looks like you. We're just fine tuning at this point, James.
Okay.
So we're just fine. You mentioned something about a neck.
Yeah, earlier on it looked like I had no neck.
Okay, great. So we're just adding that right now. That's coming in right now.
Yeah, and boy, is it ever coming in.
Okay, great. So perfect. We're just fine tuning here, James. We're just fine tuning. And we are going to just make sure your hair is right. So actually, that's pretty close. Can you just take
this is close.
This is quite. Oh, Scott, I'm sorry. I feel so bad. It's not your proper hair color, so we want to get that as proper as possible. What eye color do you have? What eye color are you?
Yeah, my eye color is green. This is really starting to bother me how
Like this,
similar this is getting to me.
Like the Scottish Isles, isn't it?
Yeah, this is horrifying.
This is tripping me out, brother. I may have gotten a contact high from Jason.
Yeah.
So this is quite close. So we're gonna back away because we're quite happy with this.
Yeah, we're all quite happy with this.
Okay, great. I'm so happy to hear that. So, James, this is where you can kind of interact a little bit. Obviously, we know what your ancestor looked like.
Do I get a different shirt?
For sure, 100%. We can change your shirt.
Yeah, this burlap number is not turning me on.
Okay, well, let's come back to that because it's really inconsequential at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, I could try to do it right now. I just Oh no, we lost it, James. Okay, hold on a minute.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. No, sorry, something. Have you been kissing somebody? Because right now we're going through a lot of.
No, I haven't been kissing anyone.
Okay, something's going on right now, James. Okay, something's happening. So,
Okay.
Okay.
So we're trying to clear this up. We're sorry about the technical difficulties.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if you were kissing somebody, but I'm picking up on some other person's DNA at the moment right now. I don't know what that's about. So, okay, so just give me a second here.
Okay. Well, I can tell you I haven't been kissing anyone.
Are you sure?
I'm certain.
I quite like what we had there, so I'm sad that we lost it. I'm quite sad that we lost that.
Yeah, well, it sounds like this device, you still need to work the kinks out a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm quite happy with what we had. So for now, I'm just going to go with roughly this. Trying to find kind of what we had before. This is quite good. This is fine.
Sure.
This is fine. I just want to make sure we get the specifications properly here. And this, most importantly, we get the eyes right again. It was green,
let's make sure that my my eye sockets and orbitals are totally sunken in, and my neck is extraterrestrial-like.
This is roughly where we were, so I'm quite happy with this. So James, like I was mentioning before you interrupted and ruined my machine, we don't know what your ancestor did for a living, and that's where you can come in and kind of, let's say, I don't know, have some fun with this. So James, at 18 years old, what do you think your ancestor's profession was? What do you think they were quite good at?
How about a cobbler?
Okay, a cobbler. So let's say they were an insightful thinker, James. Let's go with that.
Okay, so I said cobbler and you went with insightful thinker.
So this is really just their personality, their background. Do you think they were quite good with money? Let's go with thrifty clerk then, if that's the case.
All right, yeah.
Would you say that they were lustful, gluttonous, greedy? Do you think that they were callous? Would you think they were sadistic, vengeful? You know what? Just for fun, James, what are you like?
I would say friendly.
Okay, great. So we're gonna say you're gregarious. Anything else?
Okay. No, I think gregarious works.
Okay, would you say you're patient, calm, arrogant, impatient, humble, deceitful? Would you
Let's
say
go
you're
with humble. Let's go with humble. I feel like this guy's a nice guy.
Okay, let's go with humble. James, would you say that you are brave, shy, ambitious, arbitrary, anything like that?
Let's go with brave. How about that?
Okay, sure.
You seem a little resistant to that.
I was a little bit, but we'll see what happens.
All right, well, why don't we go back to the drawing board then?
Okay, let's take brave off. Sure, let's go back. Would you say you're paranoid, trusting, compassionate?
Yeah, I would say trusting, yeah.
Okay, like a dog. That's great.
Yeah, like a dog.
So, what's a picture of a dog? Other traits, James. Now, here's where we can really have some fun. You say you suffer from an illness, right?
No, I don't suffer from any illness.
You don't suffer from an illness? You're not spindly, scaly?
No, I'm not spindly or scaly, no.
Are you sterile?
I'm not sterile, no.
You have a thing, don't you? Aren't you,
Are you implying that I have scales and I have erectile dysfunction?
No. I never said that. I just maybe you had some. Well, so okay, sorry. Let's move away from that. But should we add this here, James?
What are we looking at here?
What do you think?
Well, unfortunately, the text is too small for me to read.
Well, I think it says fornicator.
A fornicator? Well, it sounds like you're edging me towards that. So yeah, let's go with fornicator.
Okay, great. I didn't listen. It's not whatever. Would you say that you? What else could we add here to the?
I wasn't aware that ancestry.com had ways that you could build a former family member and also imply that they were a fornicator.
This is the DNA talking, brother. Listen, I don't make stuff up on this device. This is stuff that I have taken from your mouth.
Right.
What is also coming up is scaly. Oh boy. So that kind of tracks, right?
Scaly, yeah. Let's just go with scaly.
Great. And we're also gonna go with something positive here, James. Would you say that
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, great. So, here's what I was looking for: smallpox, typhus, cancer, consumption, gout-ridden. Do you have any of those?
No. Is ringworm on there?
The closest thing to ringworm we can get is one-legged.
Okay, that's the closest thing to ringworm.
Well, that's where it's located on your body.
Yeah, let's go with one-legged.
Actually, I think leper is pretty close.
Yeah, let's go with leper.
Okay, great. And we'll put one-eyed on there for now as well. All right,
Yeah,
James.
yeah. Just to be safe, this wow, this is horrifying.
We're getting a real taste of your ancestor and where you're coming
Yep.
from. So this is really, really impressive stuff. So James McGee from the McGee clan, a strong Irish clan, eye patched over here. Now we get to choose their stats. I'll just go ahead and based on what you told me, I'm going to randomize these.
Yep.
So I'm just going to go here, a little bit of this. Not much learning. You're intrigue. Not much of a fighter, but you're quite good with money. We'll
Okay, so I'm cheap and without ambition. I'm also stupid.
Well, I didn't say stupid, but okay, we can bump this up a little bit if you'd like, James. This is good. So right now you're unmarried. Would you?
Fair.
So
Yeah.
for now, but here's the cool thing, with Ancestry.com, we actually could find out who do you marry. Are you excited to find out about that?
You know what? That actually is exciting. Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna actually have some suitors for you in a minute, and these were people. This is real historical evidence from other mouths that were swabbed.
Okay.
Of who your ancestors basically married and basically created the McGee tree. So this is pretty cool.
Okay, so this is you know what? You're right. This is exciting.
This is pretty exciting. So we're gonna finalize this. Are you happy with this selection? This looks.
Well, I don't know if I
close.
would say happy based on appearances alone, but let's say that they fall in line.
Okay. I'm willing to give you something positive here, just so we can.
How nice.
We can add something to it. You're a journaler. That seems good.
Oh,
you're
how
a writer.
nice. I keep a nice journal.
Okay, great. Somebody's mentioning in the chat why you don't have pants on.
Great question.
Can you answer that?
Why don't I have pants on? Well, I would say that I'm a big fan of pants or bottoms as a whole.
Are we sure we don't have fornicator inputted here? No, we don't. Okay, so that might be just a bug. So we're going to find out why that is. So, James,
Yeah.
we're going to finalize. Are you excited?
I'm very excited to see what happens once we put this to bed.
Finalize your ancestors. Okay, great. So, wow. There's your guy. I'm so happy to see this. So we're going to go right into it, James. So right away, your character is dying.
Oh, yeah, great. Of course, yeah.
Well, let's see if we can try to find you a spouse before this happens. So, James, right away, there's a few suitors for you, and we can find after this happens, we can kind of we can start to let this go.
Okay.
Because the history starts to drop off at that point.
Sure.
So I have 3 choices for you here. Moore Moomin, who is a 16-year-old. You are 18. She's quick, so meaning she was quite bright.
Right.
We then have, which you might be interested in this here, James. Sebdan, who is 42 years old.
Now, why would I be interested in that?
It's this is what your ancestors seem to
Sure.
prefer the company of experienced. This person is lustful, humble, and callous. Is this somebody who's interesting you?
Well, let's hear about the others.
Okay, great. So we'll go to Elodie, who is 44 years old. She is gregarious, paranoid, and deceitful.
Oh, okay. And the final one?
We have Lurthen, who is zealous, brave, and shy.
What was that name again?
Her name is Lurthen.
Lurthen, she is jealous, brave, and shy?
She is zealous,
Zealous, excuse me.
brave, and shy.
Now, how old is Lurthen?
Lurthen. How old is Lurthen? 44 years old, James. And I'll tell you right now, she does not like you very much.
Well, I guess we have to go with Lurthen.
So let's go with Lurthen.
Yep.
Here's the cool thing, James. She wants to marry you. So
But she doesn't like me very much.
No, she's not a really big fan of the fact that you're going to die soon. But we're gonna send the proposal. And it goes through, James. Congratulations, you are married.
Wow. On my deathbed, no less.
On your deathbed, no less. So I'm just advancing time right now, and we're gonna see if anything happens here.
Sure.
So we're just gonna go here. We're gonna blow past these right now. Mainly, I want to see what your child looks like because this is the really cool part, James. We could be seeing your birth right now.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know if that times up quite correctly, but for the sake of talking points, sure.
So we'll see right now. It doesn't look like there's a lot happening. I don't know why you guys aren't communicating or... Okay, you've died. You've died, James.
That's probably why I'm not communicating, because I've died. Wow.
Chieftain... Oh, this is so sad, James. I'm so sorry to hear this. So, Chieftain James of Ulster rests in the arms of the Lord at 18 years of age. He died a leopard, a shameless fornicator. Oh, I thought you weren't a fornicator, James.
Well, I guess I was getting it on all the way until the very end at 18.
Yeah, he will be remembered for his uncontrollable and insidious lust. Wow.
Well, you know what they say, Dimitri, because I think this has been illuminating on a variety of levels. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, what did you learn? Like, what can we take kind of from this and take into maybe the summer as somebody
Well, I would say that based on this, it probably doesn't bode well if I live the life of a fornicator.
Yeah.
So I have to stay on the straight and narrow and commit myself to myself alone.
Okay, that's one way to interpret history. I guess the second way to interpret history is don't catch leprosy this summer.
Hey, tomato, tomato.
I guess you could say that again. Well, James, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you enjoyed my system. I'm going to actually be making it public. You're actually the first person to beta test it, so I'm pretty happy that you're happy.
Yeah. It's so incredible how you've managed to take an already existing product like Ancestry and turn it into what just looks so much like a role-playing game.
Yeah, well, games are the future, and kids love games, so we want to catch as much interest as possible.
Games are the future, and kids love games. Well, Dimitri, I have to tell you something. You've topped yourself after last week. Oh. This is a redemption story, the likes of which we haven't seen since a young Sylvester Stallone portrayed the role of Rocky Balboa.
Oh, that was great. Hey, James. If you'd like an iron seat for your toilet, you know where to find me.
As tempting as an iron seat for my toilet is, I think I'll take a pass, but I appreciate the gesture, a kind sir.
Hey, remember what I said about the barn? If you're looking for a lady, ladies love barns.
Well, I'll keep that in mind if I'm on the hunt for a lady or a barn. Thank you, blacksmith.
It's James, it's me, it's Dimitri.
Yeah, I got it. Dimitri, okay. Thanks so much for tonight, and we'll talk next week.
Peace be unto you, and remember, fornicators dig the deepest graves.
Well, that was Dimitri Kyres. I like that he had to drop his character in order to transition away from the two-shot to a one-shot. The question you might be asking yourself is, was that character that he played the nerdiest moment in this show's history? I feel like I almost accidentally did improv with Dimitri's blacksmith character when I said, "Oh, will do, good sir." I feel like I got to wash my mouth out with soap. Folks, that is our show, and that is our week. We burst forth into the weekend with a nice, relaxing evening that featured hypothetical drug stories with Jason Grimmer, and then a trip into my family's past with Dimitri Kyres. All I can do is promise you two things. The first of which being that next week, the shows will be as high quality as the ones this week. And two, I will do my best not to catch leprosy or any type of sexually transmitted illness over the weekend. Until then, thanks for watching this week. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and of course, be well.